gossip can be found in like high schools and like public places.
I find gossip mostly at school or mostly in the magazines.
Or not like around my grandma's area where she lives or something.
I stay away from gossip. The gossip's all over my town.
Try to stay away.
It's crazy. Of course I look for gossip. I need to know what's up. I need to know what's up going in my community.
I do not look for gossip. Not at all. It just happens to come my way.
I don't really look for it, but it's good to know gossip.
I try not to look, but I have a lot of friends who are girls, and they do gossip a lot.
I think everyone tries to avoid it, but girls are girls, and girls always talk about each other.
Gossiping is definitely a female, kind of more predominantly female, but there's a lot of backstabbing and talking about people everywhere.
I hate gossip. I hate it. That's how all the fights start in my school. If you talking about this other person, it's gonna be a fight the next day.
I don't like gossip because I have many fights because of that. People talk about me.
I hate gossip.
Yeah, I hate when people gossip about other people. When you just keep talking about somebody, just situations just gets worse.
Try to avoid all that. I mean, you get away from it sometimes, but sometimes it just follows you.
Yeah, I usually try to just not talk about people. You know, it's probably the right thing to do.
I'll talk about somebody, but of course I'm going to say it to their face. Because if they got anything to say to me, they can say it.
I really don't talk about other people, just like people in school, outside of school, whatever, just say that she said or he said something about one another, and it just ends up into like this one big fight that you're in, and it's just not even worth your time.
There have been times where someone was about to spread some gossip, and I just said, don't tell me, please. I don't want to know. So at times, I'm pretty good at not listening to people about gossip.
Like my friends are talking about other people, I always don't want to really be involved because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
MSN and Carter Dictionary Online defines gossip as conversation about the personal details of other people's lives, whether rumor or fact, especially when malicious.
Gossip usually has a negative intention or consequence.
Gossip destroys friendships, self-esteem, and trust.
So why do we do it? Why do we hurt people by creating and passing along gossip?
Are you one of the people who thrives on the latest gossip even when we know that it probably isn't true?
Are you a gossip monger? That's what we'll be talking about today. Hi everyone, I'm Elias.
And I'm Caitlin.
And this is Real Faith TV. The teens on the street we met at the beginning of the show seem to find gossip everywhere, in their schools, their neighborhoods, and in the media.
We'll talk with them more a little later in the show, as well as meet our studio guests.
But first, let's meet our spotlight guest, Carly. She will tell us how she defines gossip.
Now, she used to think gossip was fun, but now she knows better.
My definition of gossip would have to be just saying negative things about anyone, whether it be online, text messaging, calling someone. It's in the media, it's in school, it's online especially. It's basically everywhere. If you're telling somebody something good about somebody else, like, oh, she did so good in this play, she did so good at her dance recital, whatever it may be, then that's not gossiping. I feel like it's just putting others down. Some people, if they have insecurities, you feel better about yourself because you're like, oh, so-and-so did that. Oh, I would never do something like that. So it makes yourself feel better. When I was younger, not that much younger, but I definitely looked for gossip. I thought it was like fun talking about people sometimes. There was a lot of times when I heard stories from other people and I didn't know if they were true or not, but they were somewhat like funny, so I would share them with friends and stuff, but not realizing that it would really actually hurt the other person. Like they found out I was maybe saying stuff about them, and these are people that maybe thought I was like their friends, and I lost a lot of relationships that way actually. The thing is, when you do receive gossip, you can be the person to end it. You can be the person to break off that chain and just completely end something that could really turn into something catastrophic. And basically what you should do is just say, let's just stop it right here, and I don't think you should tell anybody else. I'm not gonna say anything anymore. Let's just end it like this, because you don't know if it's true, I don't know if it's true. They're the only people that know if it's true, and even if it is, we shouldn't be talking about it.
Well, I really liked what Carly said. I mean, gossip hurts everyone, and I really like the fact that she knows that people can cut it off and you can be the one that ends it. Okay, so let's meet our studio guests and find out how they experience gossip.
Good idea. They are Lauren, Andrew, Ashley, Matt, and John.
All right, guys, so where do you find gossip?
And have you been guilty of spreading gossip?
Well, I'm
guilty of spreading gossip, but I'm just being honest. I'm sure we all have at one point. But it's really easy to just go online or Facebook or MySpace and check out what everyone's doing, especially in the summertime when you have a little more free time, just see what everyone's up to.
Right. And I think when we were younger, you know, we didn't really notice like what the gossip was. I think like we encountered it mostly in middle school and stuff. And, you know, it's still going on in high school, and you basically see it everywhere.
And I agree. I mean, I found gossip like everywhere, actually anywhere that people are. And I have been guilty of spreading gossip myself. I feel like I gossip too much, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. It's just like sometimes you can be spreading a rumor that you don't even realize it, because people do it so much that it's just like something that slides under the radar. You don't even notice it yourself sometimes.
Yeah, like gossip is everywhere, so it's like so hard to avoid it. Like sometimes you get this feeling that you need to know something, especially someone you know. So it's like, you know, it's kind of hard not to avoid it because you want to know like what that person is and what kind of a friend you have, if it's true or not. So it's really hard to avoid it, I think, everywhere you go.
It's almost like natural. I mean, it just becomes like fluid. Like in a fluid conversation, you'll be like, "Oh, did you hear what she said? Oh, yeah, and she said this." Like it's, and if you take a step back and you look at it, you're like, "Wow, you know, I really gossip a lot." You know, I mean, almost everybody does it. I mean, do you guys agree? I mean,
Yeah, it definitely happens a lot, but we have to realize it's a negative thing. And a lot of times in our society, it's really difficult to realize that because the media with shows, you know, like Desperate Housewives, things like that, Grey's Anatomy, they glamorize gossip. They're like, look at all these great things that happen with gossip. And really, like, in real life, it's damaging to a lot of people, and it can really hurt. So what is the difference between telling stories, sharing some news, venting frustration, spreading a lie, or just filling someone in?
That's what we asked the teens on the street.
Let's check it out.
Stories are different than like gossip, because gossip's like people make up stuff.
Like venting to someone might be a little bit more aggressive, and then telling a story might be more like comedy.
Of course there's a difference. Venting frustration is because you're angry at that moment, and that's how you feel you need to relieve it.
I guess there's not really a difference. It's just all like gossip.
The person that told you not to tell anybody should not tell anybody. It's just keep it to yourself. That's the same thing. If they told you a story, it don't matter if they told you a secret or anything, how little, how big, how medium they told you.
There's definitely a difference in like intentions, most of all. Some people like spread lies just to hurt someone. Some people accidentally blurt it out.
Can you share an experience where someone spread gossip and it had a bad outcome?
I do, but I don't think it's appropriate.
Some girl in my school told everyone that she was 6 months pregnant. She's not pregnant, she just did it for attention from everyone in my class because no one liked her. Now everyone found out about it, and she like throwing fists and everything, and she's saying that everyone said it about her when she was the one that really started it about herself.
I've had friends that have had stuff, things that weren't true said about them. It's kind of dumb and stupid because it's stereotypical of our age or whatever, and I try to look at myself as an adult. I'm only 17, but I try to stay away from that type of stuff.
My best friend, well, my old best friend, this is my new best friend. She was gossiped about, and she beat up a girl. Yeah.
A while back, me and my ex-girlfriend broke up. Then they spread rumors that I was with somebody else at that time. That got around to her. It was a whole big mess.
Yes. Back to the time when I got locked up. I had got locked up for possession, but somebody decided they wanted to spread a rumor saying I was locked up for murder. Which wouldn't happen. I would never take somebody's life. My life is precious, and I would never take somebody else's.
This kid, he said something about this other kid behind his back, and it wasn't true, so it led to a fight. It was pretty bad.
Gossip often crosses the line of hurtful territory.
Gossip, when in the form of a damaging story that can spread very quickly through a group,
can have devastating effects.
Even if a story is true, it can lead to broken friendships, ruined reputations, and a loss of respect.
All right, guys, so can you share a time when you were badly hurt by gossip or where you spread something hurtful about someone else?
Well, there was one time where I told a friend something, and I thought I was telling her this in confidence, and it felt good to get it off my chest, and I was sure that she would keep it a secret, but she actually told someone else, and it was whispered down the lane, and pretty soon a huge group of my friends ganged up on me, and I was forced to distance myself from them because the gossip had escalated. So it's a shame how quickly it develops. So.
And I know a girl who had a rumor spread about her that she was having like intimate relations with a teacher, and you know, she even had to take a few weeks off from school because it got so bad. So, yeah.
You know, it's really sad. Like in high school, things get spread all the time. Personally, I have a few friends who have had sexual things spread about them, and sadly, some of them were true, but a lot of them weren't. And either way, it's just people shouldn't be talking about each other. They need to really put themselves in that person's perspective, and you know, they wouldn't want someone talking about them.
Yeah, and I had a really good friend. Like he did something really bad enough for him to get suspended, and you know, he was embarrassed by that. But people were hearing rumors and gossip of him being expelled instead of suspended. So, you know, he was already embarrassed by that. It just made the situation worse when he heard that people thought he was expelled. So it really had a big impact on him emotionally, I think.
There was this one kid in my school, in fact, his sexual orientation was put into question. There was a huge rumor going around the entire school, and it wasn't true, of course, but it really did affect, it had the potential to really affect his high school experience. And it wasn't justifiable to him, you know. He doesn't deserve that. Nobody deserves to be gossiped about, you know.
Gossiping is definitely a bad thing, but sometimes it's really, really hard to stay away from it. In fact, one of the hardest things about being a loyal friend is being a secret keeper.
Next, Carly tells us about a friend who she thought was loyal but spread a lie about her.
Someone who I thought was my best friend, someone who I thought I could trust with almost anything, and she told somebody's sibling, and like, this is a person I'm close with, so she told their sister that I did something that I didn't do, and if that went back to his mother or father or family, then they would think of me of something I'm not, and I'd have a reputation that isn't even me. And she didn't realize how much harm that was really putting me into, and I just had to say to her, like, I can't be friends with someone who would put me in harm's way like that. That's just not right. When that happened, like, I was just really surprised. I've been friends with her since, I don't even know, 2 years old, and you would hurt me like that, like someone who's, like, I told everything to her, and she just went and did that. Like, that's just not right in any way at all. It was really hard. It was really hard. Prayer really actually did help, because instead of lashing out on this girl, like from what she did to me, someone I thought was my best friend, instead of just yelling at her, calling her every name I could possibly think of, I'm sure deep, like in my mind at that moment, I really did want to. I was so angry, but I realized this isn't gonna, me yelling at her isn't going to change what just happened. So I just sat in my room, tried to relax, and I did pray to God just to get it all out of my system, and it really did help.